is going to take some doing, especially with those two lads in front of him. Piqué, Langley have really hit it off.
Well, on the other side, Jan Dak-Ak Oblak has been able to cause problems for Barcelona in the past. Taking a look at that midfield, it is Artur and Rakitic alongside Busquets. And up front, again, no Dembele. We've seen sparks from Coutinho. Will we see a blaze today?
That's right. Flashes brilliance so many times. Camp Nou totally sold out. The Magic Man has been at his inspirational best. Absolutely staggering in his variety of not just football, but he takes it to free kick artistry as well. But he knows all too well, cannot contain Messi for much of the time. You arguably have to use a net.
Looking at the lineup, meanwhile, for the visitors, Arias has stepped in. They've had to use Juanfran due to injury, sometimes even over on that left-hand side, but Felipe Luis out there today. An interesting midfield. All four can play pretty much anywhere on the floor. Meanwhile, our good friend Patrick Kluivert passing along, the best player of the month of March. And you might be able to repeat that ad infinitum.
Well, he's been recapturing his most scintillating form as we look at the lads in the van down by the river.
Just outside Madrid, to be geographically specific, Las Rosas. There might be a bit of tinkering with VAR in the off-season, but it is here to stay. Will it play a role today?
As I said, just uncontainable. He has been, his team is the team that can lock Messi up.
Ball rolling from Luis Suarez back to Busquets. Messi cutting to the inside. Looks like an attempt at a high-octane start from Barca, but Atlético was ready. Phil Shane alongside Ray Hudson. Glad you've joined us today on beIN Sports. It has been an entertaining La Liga campaign. Jose Hernandez, Jaime Macias on her Spanish language side. In many ways, the race for the title comes down to today. Sure, there are more games. Nice bit of work to free Sergio Roberto, but Atlético needs a win to draw close. Back for Messi, curls around, finds Coutinho, overlap for Alba, drops it to the spot, and it's cleared away by Saúl.
8 men in the box for Atlético Madrid instantly as soon as Messi gets the ball. Defenders and midfielders start making the cross on the chests as they back off. Full respect shown to him, but this team has had terrible luck, or terrible form, let's just say, against this Barcelona side. It doesn't seem as if whatever Diego Simeone draws up in La Liga, you have a desperate time getting by them. Only won in the league at Camp Nou once in 2014, and that was a draw.
Out wide on this near side, Santi Arias, the Colombian, dropping it back. Arthur getting in the way and finding Busquets quickly. We were talking about this before. If you missed the pregame, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer in the stands looking in and scouting today. Lots of rumors about maybe trying to pluck Real Madrid's pocket, but he has his eye on someone here. But maybe Saúl would seem to be the obvious, but with all of the rumors about Ivan Rakitic, if there is smoke around that fire, why not? Our side, Felipe Luis. Costa making the near post run. Tries to get through Busquets. Good defense. Rakitic pays the price. Artur. Good step up. Jimenez from distance, but a long way away.
both the Manchester clubs looking at Saul Niguez with envious eyes. Barcelona themselves rumoured to be interesting. See what happens in this interesting off-season where all the big clubs are going to be losing big players, and big players heavily rumoured to be swapping camps. This team of Simeone's comes into this big lion's den with their own intent and their own danger. If they play up to snuff defensively, it'll take something ultra special from the magic man to crack them. And Jan Oblak, top-class, world-class goalkeepers on both sides of this footballing field. And Griezmann, again, is another one that just kind of cracked the defensive code of Barcelona. This would be a huge night for the French World Cup winner if he can live up to it. Look out.
Tucked around the corner, bursting lungs to get there. But Sergio Roberto's pass cleared.
Fearlessly involved, pushing them very high, and even themselves very open at the back, but that's always Barcelona, risk and reward. Sergio Roberto, such a good component in the attack. Good touch.
Suarez, as he's falling off balance, and Partey there to clear it away.
Another player that's at the top of his footballing tree is Thomas Partey.
Maybe one of the reasons Saul might be available.
Yep.
Ernesto Valverde. And there are plenty of critics from the Barcelona faithful, but you can't really argue with performance. Through for Suarez, fights through, but Jimenez there to poke it free.
Tries to usher this one through to Coutinho, was very close. High pressing here from Barcelona. Lovely touch again.
Rodrigo back home after a stint at Villarreal. Got off to a good start, but cooling off a bit of late. Alba tracking all the way back.
Yeah, just since that Athletic club win over Atlético, and the Athletic Bilbao beat them by 2-0 was the only time that this Atletico team has actually allowed goals in 7 games. So defensively, since that terrible night in Turin, where the Dark Invader and the black and white zebras of Juventus really took them to task, beat them 3-0, but what was it? Woeful night for this wonderfully constructed defensive side.
Arias in pain. Jesus Gil, although this one Gil Manzano ruling the roost here at the Camp Nou.
Talking about Griezmann earlier, Phil, it's been 8 games since Antoine has scored against Barcelona. It's more than any other team in La Liga. He finds that defence very difficult to get past, and of course, as I said earlier, the 2 goalkeepers can't ask for anything more from them. They're doing in different styles as well, so that'll be an interesting part. See how they play. Nice touch.
Our side, Felipe Luis. Griezmann shows, but Rakitic with him. Tucked inside, Partey finding a pocket. The Ghanaian a little overly optimistic. Out for the throw-in. Let's see if Atleti presses. More than token pressure and a follow-through that might come back. In fact, the assistant referee catching Gil's attention. Longley.
Hugo Costa comes to block right here, and then just catches Longley on the side of the head, accidentally on purpose. Perhaps.
Point of the elbow was extended a bit. And he comes with a reputation. He's always said he's not a choir boy. Well, let's see what type of tune VAR might say.
Well, he's been up to it as well. No matter what Costa throws at him, he's been in wonderful form. Langley and Piqué together. Not so much against Villarreal, of course, but He didn't have PK alongside of him. Titi had a horrible off night that night.
First foul and Costa getting his money's worth.
Atlético winless in the last 17 La Liga matches. They changed that tonight.
Rodrigo.
Because I tell you what, if they do take the 3 points from Barcelona, it's going to get pretty interesting down the stretch. It's easier said than done.
Rodrigo out wide again. Good movement from Atlético, but to this point, Barca keeping them outside the danger zone. Hopping through the challenge of Busquets, Partey out wide. Felipe Luis off balance and almost on target. And this is an Atletico Madrid squad that had such high hopes. Surprised by the Juventus comeback, though. Really, La Liga, all they have to fight for. And how much of a fight, I guess we'll find out, starting the day 8 points back. The middle just under the boot of Messi.
Yeah, two players, and Suarez and Coutinho nicely open.
Pulls it away, pops back to his feet. Threads it through, but Coutinho couldn't get there. Jimenez does.
Felipe Luis just gets his big toe to this one, or else Messi would have been able to pick out Suarez. He still gets the pass off of his foot.
Coutinho from distance, but off Jimenez and out. They'll get a corner.
Wonderful run by Leo. Hey.
All right. This will swing in eventually, but he'll wanting to make sure everything's okay. Having a chat with Busquets, who's been a lot more physical defensively here today than we're used to seeing. Keep an eye on Messi. Remember, it was that right arm that was fractured earlier this season, but seemed to be a little higher up. That just seemed to be more of a bruise. Good look at Valverde. There, Busquets looked like he might have gotten stepped on. 11 minutes in. Still no score. Plenty to talk about, though, and plenty to watch. Download your Ford beIN Sports Connect app. Just go to your app store and you can watch plenty of action throughout beIN Sports. beIN Sports in Espanol and beIN Sports Connect.
He's done well there.
Out to the middle, a little stumble by Messi. Even from the ground, though. Atletico wanting dangerous play, but instead they'll be whistled for a foul.
Diego just gets a little piece. Looked as if the referee was allowing advantage to be played till the advantage disappeared.
Archer trying to turn was Suarez. That's a battle to look forward to today. Suarez against Godin.
Nicely.
Coutinho for El Pistolero to the goal line, and he can't catch up.
Amazing ball from Coutinho. Still wants that call, this call given, and he's got a big axe to grind, hasn't he? He's getting pulled, and how the referee missed that is amazing. A half decent effort for sure in between Longley and Rodi Alba there, or Costa. A beautiful ball played from Coutinho. A rainbow pass over the top for Suarez.
We talked about Simeone and his struggles. Only 3 teams in his career has he never beaten. Racing Santander, the single time they played. Mallorca 3 times. They're not even in the top flight anymore. And then 0 for 14 against Barcelona in La Liga. 0 for 20 in all competitions. Although does have 8 draws, some of them timely. Especially during that season when they won the double. Longley. Back to the inside for Arthur. Messi changes direction, sees Alba on the run, meets him perfectly, but he can't beat the post. Oblak blessed as Messi with a gem.
Staggering skill on the run by Lionel. Mutant fly's eye vision that draws a standing ovation here, and you'll see why soon enough. Again, amazing pass from Messi, and so close. A lick of paint denying once again. A lovely effort to beat the goalkeeper. I'm not so sure that a forward would have been able to pick a different variation than what Jordi Alba did, but he was millimeters away. Take a look again. X-ray vision, sees through steel. He's onside, beautifully level, lovely touch to caress it, and then on the run is able to get a redirected pass into goal. Unlucky.
Chance for Suarez again. The best chances have come from Barcelona to this point. But as that one went off the post.
As the end result. But unfathomable vision and placement of the pass from Lionel, and the frog's hair, as that gentleman says.
By the way, if we get a chance to see that again, watch Oblak's hand, because even as Alba caught him near post, there was not much space to get it between Oblak, and obviously not enough to get it past the post. Alba back to midfield, Partey stepping in. Saul seemed to have been stepped on, but now okay. Felipe Luis can't find him though. Much of the play in the midfield right now, just 3 shots.
Oh, good play.
Kick back Koke.
Nicely.
Costa for Arias. Santi denied by Coutinho.
Quicksilver, one-touch passing here. Griezmann, highly underrated with his creation and invention. Amazingly picking out the right pass. He had a multitude of options inside. He could have went solo. Again, lovely pass.
Costa trying to hold off 3, but one back, and Barca now on the break. In for Rakitic. But too much to ask is Godin.
Anh em đã đặt cược cho trận đấu ngày hôm nay chưa?
The right pass.
Vào ngay fb88vn.com, đăng ký thành viên, tham gia cược ngay trận này với tỷ lệ kèo cược cực cao, nhận kèo cực nhanh, nạp tiền, rút tiền ăn về tài khoản ngân hàng chỉ trong 5 đến 10 phút.
Waited for that moment, and then Rakitic unlucky not to find Suarez with his.
Arias back for Griezmann. Of course, much has been made this year and last about Griezmann joining Messi at Barcelona. Seemingly that's been put to bed, but you can always take the covers off again. Off to this near side for Arias. Koke trying to clear space. Partey, Griezmann, Koke. Partey onside, unselfishly tries to pass, and it's blocked.
Well played by Longley. That one was finding its way through. Lovely little passage pass from Thomas to Antoine Griezmann, and Longley just getting enough to intervene.
Riding inside Saul, back comes Rakitic.
Good cover.
And in for Piqué, who finally got a break in Barca's last game. Good pressure by Atlético to win it back. Of course, without him, Barca almost lost, fighting back for that 2-2 draw.
Play again, Griezmann. Very clean and quick. He's always been, since his Sociedad days. He's just got better with every passing season.
Wide for Griezmann. He got a 4-4 draw against Villarreal. And imagine how tight the collars might be if Villarreal had actually defeated Barcelona.
Yeah, there was a point rescued in that game, and again, Messi Depensia again.
Dead even on passes to this point. Atlético normally willing to sit back and counter against the likes of Barca. They've turned it up a gear, and here again, Saúl forced to retreat. And Atlético with the better possession.
Yep, coming back into this game a lot more now after that early. Good ball, lads.
Chance through. Messi finding Suarez. Tried to get it back.
Roberto initially. Beautiful ball played in from Sergi. Splits the lanes open, and then Messi trying to create for Suarez. Could he have touched that one past Godin? Well, he knows him all too well, so he takes a red hot crack and then regrets it. Messi had found himself a lovely pocket there though, and Sergio Roberto identified it immediately. Good run.
Griezmann breaking free. Piqué over and forces the shot. Ter Stegen was ready.
Well, he outstrips his support here through his own quickness. Antoine, he's got Coquet and Costa arriving, but all too slow to get there. Saúl as well joined in the attack, but not in enough time. All the star men playing well. Really a bad performer out there. Everybody super sharp.
Out wide for Roberto. Back for Rakitic. Busquets to Longley. Patience for Barca. Rattles away off the bounce from the ref and now retreating. Neither of these teams at 100%. Mentioned Dembele, who scored the equalizer back at the Wanda in November. Still out with a hamstring, but back in training. Malen hurt, Vidal unavailable due to suspension, but Lucas Hernandez, Thomas Lemar both missing due to injury for Atlético. Still star-studded on both teams. Rakitic leaves for Messi. You see Felipe Luis keeping a close eye. Of course, those two have a bit of a history. Speaking of the time Felipe Luis left his studs in the thigh of Messi. Inside for Messi. Tries to adapt. Tripped up. Busquets steps up.
Quick. Nicely.
Messi bodied down. Pushed by Jimenez, and a free kick upcoming. Rigo had a grab. Well, looks like
you've got to grab him. As I said earlier, you have to net him. A lot of the times he has the look. Antoine, the cavalry's coming, but he knows they're going to be well covered by the time he gets there. Just doesn't get his angle right for that crack at goal. Well, of late, Lionel's done it in a variety of ways. These free kicks like a bloodhound in the scent of a goal.
By far and away the best free kick taker in Europe over the last 5 years. And he's proven it in recent weeks here again, but just a little too much on the caress. "20 goals via free kicks over the past 5 years. Second place on that list is Juventus's Miralem Pjanic with 11. Rakitic sends it wide. Back for Longley, who was a stopgap of sorts. Brought in as support. The injury to Umtiti forced him into the first team, and now his performance might force Umtiti out.
It's magical from Coutinho.
Alba back in. Suarez
Nicely.
gets it. Messi and Godin in the way. Now Koke's turn, looking to lead an Atleti resurrection.
Absolutely wonderful first domino push from Coutinho, and then all of the passes linked up beautifully together in a wonderful sequence. As his final touch to Suarez just being cut out.
After finding a little pocket of oxygen to catch his breath. Good run, Coutinho. Goes through the legs of the Ghanaian, and Niguez can't clear. Back to the Brazilian. Back to Roberto, but Godin again. Ray, much has been made of a deal to send him to Inter Milan in the offseason. His contract running down, but recent reports say he might not leave after all. Big shoes to face and fill. They do have Savic in reserve now that he's healthy again.
Well,
Godin again. And Sergio Roberto thought better.
Willing to join in and hit that hole. This is the earlier challenge. Tense game, this. High quality, high octane. He'll be facing the hammers of hell both at Old Trafford and when his team comes back here.
Through for Griezmann.
Lovely.
Wide for Arias. Over quickly as Arter. Back post and Piqué in the way.
Piqué tracks this one beautifully. Wonderful insurance policy as this ball's flighted towards the back post, and Gerard Piqué waiting in his backtrack. That's a beautiful touch. Suavecito from Suarez.
Hey, tripping up Rakitic in a yellow against the Ghanaian. The half-hour mark.
Nicely. Magic.
Through for Coutinho.
Brilliant!
Drags it around, but denied by Oblak.
Some of his touches have been off of the charts, Coutinho. Wonderful invention. Creativity coming out of his Brazilian ear holes. And again, sets himself up beautifully. Wonderful interplay from Suarez. And Coutinho does everything, but as I said in the preview, these two goalkeepers, it's going to take something ultra special to beat either of them. We just saw it again, that big black octopus, Jan Oblak. Slovenian international, fantastic save.
And now look at this. The card coming out. Diego Costa in the face of Gil Manzano.
Wow, he's sent off.
And Rodrigo.
This looks like it's a red card.
And now it's Diego Costa. Jimenez getting a yellow. Now, was this 2 reds? Here's the first. He reaches for the other pocket. Rodrigo in disbelief. Now it looks like he just showed it again to Diego Costa. Piqué pushing the Brazilian to the sideline, his former national team teammate. But this really changes the face of this game.
Simeone's body language says it all. Absolutely in disbelief as the verbals range, and the referees will not take that in Spanish football. It's been that way for years. And was that just added to the problem for Costa?
Well, it is the 5th red card that Gil has shown this year. One to Longley back in a draw against Girona, but for Atlético, now the mountain gets that much higher. You can see the look to the sideline from Rodrigo. How do we handle this now? Jimenez's yellow card means that he will be missing from the next match for Atlético Madrid. We will try and show you exactly what led to that explosion from Costa and the ejection. Right now, Barca going up a man as they look to try and find the net. So without Costa and Jimenez against a resurgent Celta Vigo in the next match, but Atletico still with Barca in front of them. Messi. Atleti taking it down a gear, trying to make sure there are no holes. Straight red after what was an amazing save by Oblak that had to spark Atletico. Unfortunately, the fire a little too hard to control. Back in the midfield. Can Barca crack the dam before the halftime whistle? Felipe Luis drops.
Anh em đã đặt cược cho trận đấu ngày hôm nay chưa? Vào ngay fb88vn.com, đăng ký thành viên, tham gia cược ngay trận này với tỷ lệ kèo cược cực cao, nhận kèo cực nhanh, nạp tiền, rút tiền ăn về tài khoản ngân hàng chỉ trong 5 đến 10 phút.
Although almost immediately, as soon as the play had stopped and Costa approached Gil Manzano, he was reaching for the pocket, so gets away from Coutinho. Atleti now trying to push forward, but Arte didn't want to risk too much.
It's been a long time since it's been a poor touch by Coutinho, but that was the first one in the first half hour, basically. And it led to a good breakaway for Atletico Madrid. I agree, we haven't seen the replay yet. I'm sure you people with your fancy schmancy machines have already taken a good look at it. But that situation there, it seemed to be the verbals that was the incendiary point for this referee from Costa. Nice position this. Good targets to hit.
Lifted by Koke. Rakitic just gets in front. Sergi takes a little touch off, but Archer's pass too far. Still scouring through the tape, looking for whatever might have caused that explosion.
I think it was the
Rodri seems to be
proximity
hurt.
as well of the challenge from Costa. There's the challenge there that he felt as if, and watch how close he gets to this referee. And
Ray,
he's giving it straight away. I think for that challenge as much as what he's been saying on his approach to the ref, that's just exacerbated it more. But it seems to be for the challenge as much as anything. And was it that seriously that bad?
he wanted the foul call, did not get it.
And the inflammatory words that he said directed with each step that he took to the referee, something just broke the referee's patience or reaction to him, and he must have said something extremely bad as the substitutes come in as he tries to readdress the shape of his team.
Now Partey has a yellow, but Rodrigo has a limp. So Simeone with the decision to make here. It looks like Rodrigo might be the one that exits. Also considering, as Costa burst towards the referee, he started to reach for his left pocket and then changed his mind, went back to the right.
Yeah.
I'm thinking, because it seems that he actually had both cards in that right pocket. He might have just forgotten where they were to begin with. Not that it was going to be a yellow and then Costa took it to another gear, but regardless, especially at this stage of his career, Ray, and with his reputation, he's got to be wiser.
Yeah, in a perfect world, in a game like this where there's so much at stake, these players are wound up tighter than a Jimi Hendrix guitar string, and Costa, we always know, is liable to be overwound. But challenge was worthy of a card perhaps, but then just the acid came out of his mouth evidently.
Atlético Madrid, well, they do have a couple of Champions League victories over Barcelona in recent years, but they have not beaten Barcelona in La Liga since the days of Simão Sabrosa and Diego Forlán back in 2010.
Beautiful play from Koke.
Nice slide by Piqué, but the roll goes Koke's way. Correa can't maintain.
Touch, pussy.
Good work by the camera and tape crew, showing us what lit the fuse on Diego Costa.
Now all we need now is a lip reader.
If you're Diego Simeone, we kind of have an idea he's going to be a bit aggressive by sticking Correa in there and taking out Partey, taking out a defender make that. Arias, the player who came out, Partey kind of doing double duty, Sergio Roberto-like on this right flank. But how much do you commit to the attack? Is it a 90-minute game, or do you try and get something early?
I don't think much will change in the way Atlético Madrid will play it. They're not going to be pushing the subject with 10 men. They'll play on the counter, try to contain nicely.
Round for Suarez, tries to sneak it down.
It's the manner they play anyhow, so really the type of club that they are, the football here is that's wonderful. Sending of Godin the wrong way and a fabulous strike at goal. Thinks he's got it, no need to look up. He knows where the goalposts are, he knows they ain't moving, but Oblak is. Wonderful save from the big man. Got it out at Olympia Ljubljana.
And through Benfica in a series of loans before Atleti realized what they had. Felipe Luis. Again for Busquets.
Clever by Busquets. He's sliding in knowing that if it's going to be attacked by Rodrigo, he's going to block him. So he pulls out of his sliding tackle. His touch.
Suarez forcing his way through till he gets to the 18-yard wall.
Was blocked by Jimenez. The final step.
Again, something to consider, the fact that he's going up against his national team defensive duo, so they have all of that time in training. A pass back by Godin. The back heel for Messi, but Godin cleans up his mess.
Tries to embellish it a little bit too much for me. Suarez tries to pull out that wonderful back heel that he produced a couple of weeks ago, but this time it doesn't reach Messi. Still think he could have found Leo by a normal sort of pass. Let's take a look. Yep, he's got very little time to make his mind up. It's a great attempt by Suarez. He's probably going to be too late. Had he checked his run and pirouetted on the ball, it's probably going to be covered. So takes a good stab at it. Unlucky.
Blasted all the way back, and Sergio Roberto is there. Arthur turning it up. Barca a little more vertical here. Piqué, is there enough? Rakitic couldn't keep it in. A little surprised with Correa and Partey trying to cover the right back side. The left wing.
It's actually been blocked, pushed further and further back in his defensive work. It's been few and far between that Miguel has been able to get into any sort of raid towards Barcelona. It's a big part of his game.
Snapped forward. Alba was ready. Arthur, not a bad idea. Jimenez blasted forward.
Strong.
This near side. Now they probe the Arias weakness. We've seen Partey at that right back spot. He's kind of a jack of all trades for Diego Simeone.
Well, it'll take away a lot of what has been very, very effective in Atlético Madrid's counter-attacks, and in fact the manner in which they play going forward. Thomas Partey, not a cork in a bottle at all. Wonderful invention, and he's got a serious threat with long-range shooting. Well, that is definitely an element taken away from Atlético Madrid.
Puts more pressure on Koke and Saúl. Busquets finds Messi. Rakitic wide. Arthur calling for the ball in the center of the park. Just behind Rakitic. Now Griezmann out wide. Draws a whistle. Passes it straight to Coutinho, and here comes Barca. Suarez timed it, but couldn't quite deliver. Valverde with a bit of a bitter look, thinking about the opportunity that slipped away. Going down a man, getting to halftime scoreless, an accomplishment for Simeone, still giving Atleti a chance in the second half. side for Alba. When you see Busquets do that, some seem to do it as a show-off move. For him, it seems like he realizes that's just because it's the best move. Rakitic cutting it fine. 90 seconds left in regulation for the first half. Touched in for Messi. One touch, but straight to Oblak.
Beautiful ball from Busquets again into Rakitic, whose first time pass is right where it should be. Buzi stings it, Rakitic stings it back. Wonderful rat-a-tat-tat from Barcelona, and Leo just not able to get the curl. And even if he head off, Oblak beautifully positioned towards that right side of the post. Oh, we knew there wouldn't be many goals in this game, and it's certainly living up to that. And now Atlético Madrid, with their danger man Costa sent off, are going to be a little bit more inhibited and managing this game, keeping Barcelona off, and they're doing a good job so far. And both coaches at this locker room talk, we've got some serious tactical reshaping to do in order to get the 3 points. Barcelona have a lot more aces in their hand now.
Coutinho tried to sweep that one through Arte, but Alba continues.
Well won.
Rakitic knows he can score from there, but so did Saul. "45 minutes in the book and 3 to be added to the first half. Most of that due to the scrum following the ejection of Diego Costa. Touch back, Messi, not much room. Griezmann with his Blaugrana entourage. Can they find him? Correa wins a throw-in. Barca nearly perfect at home this season. Just the one defeat. That coming way back in November in that thriller against Betis. Sergio Roberto. Suarez with Godin cutting over and making it look easy. A bit harder on the road for Atlético. Just 6 wins in their 15 road games.
Now this road atmosphere is a bit strange here. This game, and Coutinho pickpocketed.
Final minute of the opening half, maybe a chance for Atleti. Arte, proven scorer on the national team, looking to deliver here. Nice from Koke. Griezmann finding Correa, cleared by Longley, and then there's Alba to sweep things free. Coutinho fights through the challenge.
Magic turn.
Messi with Suarez on his right. Finds the Uruguayan. Back into the middle. Headed down by Coutinho. And reaching out was
Not
Oblak.
the cleanest header because of Thomas Partey doing his vinegar work and tracking back. Beautiful turn by Messi, and Suarez tries to return the favour, but this one's heading towards Coutinho, and it was close, but Thomas Partey, I believe it is, it just comes to the rescue enough to put Coutinho off.
Scoreless at the half at the Nou Camp. It might have been for his elbow. He got away with one earlier in that clash with Longley along the sideline, and maybe because of that, the referee's eyes were more peeled, but
I'm not sure, Phil. I mean, Arthur didn't even flinch. It wasn't as if he was lying prostrate on the floor, rolling around in agony. He actually didn't even react to the contact at all. So I'm not so sure one way or another. I'll read about it tomorrow. But by these always high standards, this has been a very, very tense game. There's been good invention from Barcelona, very, very close, very little from Atlético Madrid in terms of challenging ter Stegen. But they've had their moments as well where they've, looks as if they've infiltrated that back line of Barcelona and midfield, but nothing at the end. Certainly Barcelona on points would be ahead in this match if it was a boxing competition, and no Costa, and they've got Thomas and Godin and Jimenez all sitting on yellow cards, right, Phil?
And right now things getting even more precarious. Talked about the yellow against Jimenez. That means that he will be unavailable for the next match. Next match for Barcelona against that man's team, Manchester United in Europe. Kind of wonder what he scribbled down over the opening 45 minutes.
I think he'll be underlining that number 10.
Has potential. Second half underway, the red and white rolling. Just one horse down. And trying to keep riding till they can't no more. And right now Jordi Alba seems to be down. Correa. Alba maybe trying to pull out, but there was some contact and a bit of a stinger. Phil Shane alongside Ray Hudson. Jose Hernandez, Jaime Macias on the Spanish side. Alvaro Morata. A bit of a snake bit return. Does have 4 goals, but my memory serves me correct, had 3 ruled out by VAR. Clicked on by Godin, and just in case, Sergio Roberto putting it into touch. Taking a look at the stats, 9-4 in shots, 3-1 on target, 65% possession.
Covering this time by Barcelona's defense, but Griezmann going to sting this one into his captain by the looks of it. And as you say, set pieces, the great equaliser, Phil. We'll see.
Maybe the great advantage over that near post. Arthur sends it high in the air, allowing Correa to win it back. Right. Just a quick look at the stats, and this had actually started to transition before the ejection. But remember in the early going, was it about 10-15 minutes in, where Atleti had more possession and more passes. It ended up with Barcelona at 65% and nearly 200 more passes. So they found their rhythm. Reminder of the lineup. Again, Barcelona with the advantage. Messi looking for his 33rd goal. Suarez for his 20th. Here's Rakitic, who has 3 to his name this season. Sergio Roberto back for the Croatian. Alba, second thought, maybe needed a third. Correa.
Great touch.
Busquets has been phenomenal. Okay, back just in case. No whistle.
Nicely confident on the ball tonight, Coutinho. Some good touches and some good movement, good responsibility, and your sparkle in this game. Be the one that unpicks the lock.
Coutinho, now Rakitic, Sergio Roberto. Trying to wall off Lionel Messi as the Atleti midfield.
It's hard to break those lines. Okay, and certainly Rodrigo.
Left away by Partey, deputizing for the pulled Arias. Right into the gut of Longley. Maybe a little lower. The 233rd meeting between these two teams. Of course, much of the history, Atleti's been playing catch-up. Still 75 wins to 103 for Barca. This would be a storied one if they can do it a man down.
No surprise that both the coaches keeping the same teams in the lineup here for different reasons, but I think we'll see that for too long in this game. There will be changes, especially Barcelona's bench. Good attacking options. Valverde is still sticking with this and understand why. Not a bad performer out there for Barcelona. Again, Atleti so resilient. Now with a man down, they're just going to be falling back like this. It's the way they play. The movement is always good. The three around Messi, and they know where the danger is, and they can lead to counters like this.
And Saúl get around, but look at that from Piqué. 32-year-old defender making Saúl look like a rookie.
Well, he didn't have much option, did he, Saúl? He had one way to go, no support on him. Got to try to squeeze it past nicely.
Sergio Roberto to the inside. This match brought to you in part by Geico.
Again, Coutinho, lovely run towards that back post, but Sergio Roberto looking for Leo there, understandably. Coutinho still making good runs like this.
Through for Coutinho, back for Messi, drops for Busquets, and his left foot fails him.
He's always so surgical with his midfield play, but when it comes to finishing, a bit of a fish up a tree. Wonderful from Coutinho again, though. Nice supply from Leo, setting it up on a golden altar. Is Malcolm and Anya. It's limbered up.
Busquets only one league goal over the last 4 seasons.
Yeah.
Can't get a much better chance.
Well, it's an opportunity to work the goalkeeper and the target, but rare as a dodo. And you see Busquets score.
Nice from Messi. Touched by Suarez, but offside the call. Big hello to all of the Peñas who are watching here today.
Hola!
That's how you say it in Spanish, I've heard. Those of you in San Francisco and beyond. Some of those, the not so walking wounded. But Dembele is back in training.
It's one of the rarest times I've seen Dembele smile. Even after he scores, it doesn't seem to have a big bright smile on him a lot of times.
Sergio Roberto ridden down by Saúl. No notice that even with the barking, Il Manzano keeps the card in his pocket. Interesting to see the referee's report to find out exactly what it was from Costa. Messi, clinical, Alba, Suarez, blocked by his compatriot Jimenez. Griezmann pretty much a one-man target. Correa trying to be the foil. It was kind of funny with Enrique Cerezo saying he would love to see Griezmann and Messi on the same team, just that it would need to be Atlético. So I'm guessing there might be an offer in. Busquets thought about the line, instead goes direct. Jimenez again.
Challenge. Nice play.
Weaving through Correa. Arthur can't get there. Here's Griezmann. Good step up Longley. Now Saul. Tries to get through Roberto but can't.
Super clean play again by Arthur. Gets away from Sergi.
Remember, Atletico playing down a man. This is their best stretch since. Simeone pacing. Valverde implacable. Nice from Kazmierski. Niguez back for Rodrigo. Correa. Saul pulls a Busquets. Nice from Alba, and he guides it. Advantage, nope, no foul at all. Atletico Madrid named the opponent for the upcoming MLS All-Star game. Bit of a look at the want-to-be champions. Much better performance from the Barca defense today, even when Costa was out there. The offense has been nearly invisible. See, pops around Koke, has a go, and Oblak catches it midair.
That injury that he had a couple of months ago now, that pubic area seems to have gone completely away, and this is the result. In the last 3 or 4 games, Messi's been back to his absolute best. It's a wonderful run and a good, if not brilliant, effort towards goal. But again, great setup by Leo. Looks as sharp as he ever has in his regular play, if you can call it regular. His quickness, that spark, that real snap to his play seems to definitely returned. I thought he was carrying something for a long time, and had that injury myself, and it's an aching, dull pain. It doesn't stop you from playing, but it inhibits you.
Rakitic bursting through, thought the run would be there, and maybe that's some of that inhibition you were talking about. Rakitic clearly thought he had a runner. Alvaro Morata stretched out, ready to run. Will it be for Griezmann, or will they go with 3 front runners now? Anyways, they need a win. The draw does them no good. So why not let all the cards go on the table? Substitute ready to come in. And the escapee from Stamford Bridge as we look at the Oblak save. It's going to be for Felipe Luis. So Diego Simeone has been forced to make 2 subs, and he's pulled out the outside backs. Saul is deputized there as well. let's see, it does look like he's come to this side, so really only 2 defenders out there for Atletico Madrid. Okay, slides. Of course, when one of those 2 is Diego Godin, you don't need much more. Goals since making the jump back to Madrid for Alvaro. Tries a little scorpion flick, but didn't catch it clean.
The near post, that, and a good service into Alvaro Morata. I said that this home ground advantage hasn't really been telling for Barcelona. It's been a very subdued Camp Nou crowd, and with a man up, they'd be pushed to see who's got the extra man in a lot of ways. Certainly Barcelona have had, I think, that little edge to their threat, but Atletico drawn up super well, and that's a poor ball from Sergi Roberto.
Dean pounces, looking for Griezmann, but Rakitic knew it.
That ball had been just fed in that yard ahead, even square to that man. Alvaro might have had a great opportunity to turn and pivot and spank towards Ter Stegen. Oh, nice change and shuffle to his deck. What answer from Ernie Valverde? Good header.
Well, he's still got his 3 jokers in the deck. Rakitic. Not much offensively from Barca since the ejection. Messi trying to change that here. Sneaks it back, but Oblak there to pounce.
Brilliant squirrel on a telephone wire. Typical of him. Attached to the ball like a teenager with his cell phone. Amazing. But he cannot get the snap and the crack with his shot.
Rodri trying for Griezmann.
Nice play.
Keeps it for Correa.
And again.
Arte. Okay. Timing the run. Saul staying back a bit deeper. Less than a half hour to go in regulation. Again for Atleti, all it takes is a goal and you can print the Liga headlines tomorrow.
I said the same when they were playing against Villarreal, I remember. But yeah, right, Phil. This team certainly playing in a conservative way, but good thread the stretched here.
Messi with a mistouch, but he plays it to perfection. Drives in past Godin. Off to Suarez, and a need save to safety by Jan Oblak.
The madness of Messi again. Simply insane talent. Phenomenal run. Busquets knows, and he's got that much space ahead of him. He can just fold up space like the SS Enterprise. And Captain Kirk kisses it off to Suarez. And again, it's a brilliant save by Oblak.
Well, this is a bit of a change. Arthur coming out, Malcolm in.
The other week, Griezmann with a wonderful chip over the top to his advancing goalkeeper. Suarez had that opportunity, a sprawling All Black, but again, nothing at the end of it.
Headed away by Jimenez. Would think normally Coutinho would drop into the midfield, but it looks as though Barca's almost gone 4-2-4. Wide for Alba, the back heel for Suarez. Suarez inside Partey, and the whistle a bit late.
Suarez's phenomenal strike against Villarreal was what saved their point, with a wonderful half volley from a very difficult angle. But his rudimentary finishing in front of goal, one-on-one, again, not as sharp as it could have, should have, would have been.
Handball call gave the ball back to Atleti, but Barca takes it back. Messi drives, Messi delivers through Oblak, but he reaches back to grab it.
Takes it on his own little shoulders, La Pulga Atomica, with a pummel after just delicately riding the tackle after tackle like a bucking bronco, and then the smack. And they've seen it all before, but they're still in disbelief. And Oblak denies.
Oblak, the best save percentage in the big leagues of Europe, 81%. He's a perfect 6 for 6 denying the on-goal chances tonight. Just one save by Ter Stegen. Morata ran out of ideas. Alba slams it down for Rakitic. In some ways, this is a dilemma that Barca's been battling since the days of Guardiola. It's that plan B question. When the bunkers are in front of you, how do you adapt? Malcolm may be providing the answer here.
Well blocked off again.
Messi slices and then cleared Jimenez. Messi again. Coutinho tried to split two. Ball bounces Barca's way. Messi denied by Jimenez. Coutinho loves those bending shots from there. Dishes for Alba, though. Uses Coutinho as a foil, looks for Rakitic.
Good.
Almost for Piqué, who's pushed to the front line.
It's variation there, Longley, inside the box.
I was going to say, Barcelona's re-inverted the triangle. Piqué staying up front. Almost a 5-man front line for Barcelona now. Ray, is there pressure on Barca? They are at home. In the back, Piqué. Correa draws the whistle.
Pressure on him now. As Godin and the big dock cranes arrive. Morata as well. It's a rash challenge by Piqué. He keeps his hands down. He might have got away with that, but he's victimised here. And this is a nice area for Atlético Madrid in their set pieces, which once ruled the world in terms of proficiency. It's gone away a little bit over the last season or two, but these are the ones they practice till the moon goes to bed at night. And great opportunity here for the mattress makers.
Dean and
Number of options to look at and different weapons in the toolbox here.
Will be the delivery from Koke. It looks like it's going to be Griezmann direct. Ter Stegen leaning to his near post, but then bends wide to grab it midair.
Not high enough from Griezmann. Good angle. Got that extra trajectory on it. Good ball.
Playing on the off flank, finding Malcolm.
Got a lot to do here.
Rolls it back. Sergio Roberto staying on that front line now. Malcolm across, cleared by Godin. Again, it's 5, 6, 7 Barca players right around the 18. One touch, Busquets. Malcolm finds a gap. Saul on him. Busquets made the run, but it opens a path for Messi. Saved by Ter Stegen on the free kick, only the second of the game. First of the half. Coutinho caresses, trying to lay it off with Suarez. Messi with the shot. Now it's Malcolm and Oblak to the rescue twice.
Fabulous play from Suarez this time. You know, it's fabulous play from the number 10. Malcolm has 2 bites in it, like Mike Tyson, but that's great hold-up play. Pushing back on Godin was Suarez beautifully. Malcolm has another pop, and this one's easy pickings for Oblak, but good play again by Barca in their threat and their probing. Suarez was absolutely wonderful in setting up this man. Look out.
And here he comes again. Messi going to his left. Correa pokes it free.
Half a step away.
It led the number 10 to the defensive rescue. Alba. Messi, triple teamed. Correa again. Battling for it, Jimenez, but foul whistled. Pops up on the hand.
No. Comes off his chest onto his hand.
Hard to say that's intentional. Good look at Jan.
He had a great game, huh? Outstanding in denial at his best.
Does he get the credit, Ray? I mean, you think about it. When De Gea was at Atleti, they said best goalkeeper on earth. Then it was Courtois' turn, and he got the same accolades. Oblak, if you look at the stats, phenomenally better than both of them, but he's rarely in the conversation. Suarez thought there was a foul, but the whistle from the stands, and now a collision right on the stripe, and the card comes out. By the way, of note, as you saw the referee, Jesus Gil, running over, he was reaching to his left pocket. So he does have the yellow and red in different pockets, which makes you think that maybe whatever contact there was by Diego Costa in the first was going to be a yellow card foul until he added a flourish. It wasn't even as a second yellow. Whatever he said hit the magic button. 72nd minute, more than halfway done. Here's Malcolm. Into the middle for Busquets, who's beaten to the ball by Morata.
Great challenge from Langley. Nice ball.
Can Alba get there? Phenomenal performance by Jimenez and Godin and Oblak. Can they hold on? Atleti 17 minutes remaining, plus added time to make a league of it.
Oh, this is a little harsh, this one, I think, and I understand how Piqué is arguing his contact on Morata, but it's worse.
His protest putting him in the book, and it could be costly.
It's nothing there. Comes running on through. That is, I think it's a tough call on Piqué.
Morata making the most of it.
Look from this angle, just barely touch. He's half smiling. Morata gets the call. Here's the whistle. Little smirk comes onto his face. I gotcha.
Well, he had played every minute of every game until the last one against Villarreal. Now he will miss 2 out of 3. This next one against Huesca by suspension. Left for Griezmann. To the back post. Header! Open net. Jimenez. Ter Stegen at his mercy.
I don't know about an open netter, but it's a good angle for him to attack. He does, but he just kind of direct his header down.
Down a man, and it looks like another defender back behind the play, but Barca, well, they took it off the boil a bit. Morata, fans want a caution here. He seemed to grab Malcolm.
They're very similar types of contact. Take a look. There's contact upstairs as the hold is on Malcolm, but this one, it's a very difficult header to get down. He does his damnedest. It's very unlucky not to find a better angle there, Rodrigo. Good attempt.
Although you kind of sense if he had not made the play, Jimenez maybe with a better one. We'll never know. Messi and Malcolm playing a game of 1-2. Threaded through, but Longley bodied away. Final 15 minutes. But Rodin jumps over, and his fellow Uruguayan backline mate clears it away. Credit to the endurance of this Atleti side. Fitness has been an issue this year. Down a man for a good 50 minutes, and now to the crunch end.
Well, they can afford to pour themselves into this game. Barcelona would have liked to have pulled out a few of their big guns ahead of the trip to Old Trafford. It's not turning out that way, and they'll be okay with this scoreline should it hold, but the Atlético Madrid team have got killers out there, and they've been able to repel everything that the Magic Man and everybody else has provided, and there's been no bigger obstacle than Jan Oblak.
Messi, pass redelivered, repassed. Nice turn by Partey, and instantly hits the accelerator, but keeps his balance. Here. But Longley with just
not
enough
able
of a
to just
bump.
pick his hand out and then pick his head up on that left side. Partey head, 2 great targets, and he's already seen them. He's just about to unload him, and Longley says no, and takes a yellow. That would have been a lot more prevalent had Costa not been sent off. Got that wonderful ambition and tenacity that the Ghanaian international brings to that midfield.
Flicked on, looking for the corner, but Jimenez just wide. Godin drawing the spotlight, but Jimenez has been near perfect. Reña on the sideline, fresh legs for the Barca midfield. Dangerous, looking for Malcolm, but Saúl was there.
Good involvement there from Coutinho as he ushered the ball past the first challenger, then kissed it off to Suarez. Nice inviting ball across Oblak's face.
Coutinho dishes wide. Alba one touch across, but it sails. 13 combined assists by the Barca outside backs this season. Sneaks in for Suarez. Drags to the goal line. Jimenez blocks. Naval handing over the signboard as Jimenez getting up a little slowly. Philippe Coutinho, top passer on the day for Barca, but nothing at the end of it, but a nice round of applause, and that's a bit of a change.
Yeah, some nice moments throughout the game, and he had a couple of great opportunities in the first half to crack the dam. But another creator comes in a different form, but a wonderful footballer in his own right, Aleñá. If he can make the difference to this stalemate.
Forward man of the match candidates. Piqué defensively, Messi creating, Oblak outstanding, and Partey versatile. Forward man of the match announced at the end of the game. Cast your vote on Twitter at beIN Sports USA. Another example there of Partey. Here's Griezmann. There's always a chance for someone to scratch out a name and put theirs on. Is there a winner? Okay. Keeps it moving. He's 7 years of age, but it seems like Koke's been at Atleti forever.
Good ball.
Dummied through now for Saúl.
Nicely.
Bends it in. Back heel try, Morata blocked by Longley. Back for Saúl from the top of the box, and it's Busquets who blocks.
Well, that's what they can do. Like a big hungry werewolf, they'll jump out of the closet and sink their fangs into you, just like that. This red and white team know how to hit you out of the blue. 10 men be damned. They'll come out swinging all the time, and it's nice creativity again. It's just put to bed by Barcelona's last-ditch defence. They have not been able to make that extra man tell.
Alba could have let it run.
Played.
Atleti again down a man, but controlling the field at the moment. Rodri on the spin. The next Busquets he's been described as. Well, the original has taught him a few lessons, but Rodri's showed well. Saúl sensed it slipping away and then backs into Malcolm and still gets the whistle. Nice from Longley. And Morata. Much better than we saw at Stamford Bridge. Nelson Semedo will check in. Will it be for Sergio Roberto, or will he push Roberto to the midfield? $92,500 nearly. the new Camp today. Highest this season was 93-2 against Real Madrid. So second most of the season. Rakitic patiently. Messi drags through. Messi deflected. Jimenez again. Is going to be a straight swap. Sergio Roberto will exit. Right back for right back. Semedo, perhaps the more defensive of the two. He has been getting much more involved the second half of the season. Here's Alba.
Nicely.
Suarez tees. Strikes.
She caresses, the second touch he pulverizes and musters everything out of this. A staggering hit, wonderfully accurate, William Tell accuracy, splits the apple. Cruel on brave Atlético Madrid. Opportunities have been exhausted up until this. The placement is phenomenal. He curls this one and yet he strikes it. It takes something ultra special. Golazo. Magisterial beyond belief, this one, people. Beating All Black stretches his fingernails. Kangaroo on a trampoline to get there. But he cannot stop it. It's unstoppable. He flexes all of the complexities of finishing a goal and he bends into his will. That is as good a goal as you'll ever see. He's in again.
Messi through, looking to make it two. Dragged away, gifted back. Messi! Just like that.
You follow him into a revolving door and he'll still come out first. Again, it's the unpredictability of him. He's like a wasp after a sip of Cuban coffee. Watch this again as he sees all the chances, all the options disappear, so he creates more. Nothing but pure witchcraft from the sorcerer of football. Wonderful ball. There's a question if he's offside here, Phil. This may get called back. Bit of snap, crackle, pop. He recalibrates it and then the audacity comes out. Jimenez is put on his back like a turtle. Messi says to Malcolm, I see you, pal, I don't need you. Look at the way he puts this one away. The defence collapses like a cheap lawn chair and Messi stabs it in for number two. I thought it might be offside, Phil, but it doesn't look like it's even going to go to VAR. Fabulous strike, and again, stopping him is like trying to nail Jalou to the ceiling.
Well, it
Ole Gunnar Solskjaer there has just left the stadium.
Took 60 minutes after the ejection to Diego Costa, and then right after Luis Suarez picks up the 7-10 split. Lionel Messi with a strike. 2-0 Barcelona. Extra coming up next, and they'll try and figure out what we just saw. If you are Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, what do you get from this? It just seems whenever Barcelona needs to. Flicked back in by Jimenez, bumped, but Suarez gets some help.
Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, listen, Phil, if General Custer had Messi at the little bighorn, Geronimo would have turned home back to his wigwam and said, that's it, forget about it. But he'll have a big challenge at Old Trafford, and he'll have his Red Devils primed for sure.
The chant you hear in the background, the Barca fans singing for the championship. There's still time to go, and even a little love in the air between the two rivals on the day. It was asking a lot for Atlético. They gave it their all and then some. Just as it's been under Valverde this season, Barca just good enough.
More than good enough.
Correa with a burst that pops.
Management of the game was exemplified by that number 3, who you'll not see high on the player ratings, I think, but he should be. Piqué was just marvellous there, and all of the threats that were covered. Longley as well. What a combination that's proven to be. And good luck getting your place back. Samuel Umtiti, he just wins World Cups, and Longley is nailing down that possession. Of all of the different combinations that's been tried in the back, and there have been a number of it, by far Piqué and Longley have, in your words, statistically shown up to be the most resolute. And good performance here by Ivan Rakitic again. There's so many good performers on both sides of this field. Simeone's men played well, and it may have been different had Costa not been sent off. That's all for the gossip columns. Uzi was his usual wonderful insurance policy, but Messi again, man, produces magic. What a hit from Suarez. It will be up for goal of the year, nothing less.
Now it's Malcolm. They're starting to stretch this storyline a bit. A tangle in the box, but Barca wins it back. Credit to Simeone, credit to Atleti. Saúl getting a little testy at Rakitic's attention. Atleti gave it their all, pulled out the right backs, and the left back putting more forwards on the field, even when they were down a man.
Well, seconds remaining, and we'll probably not be able to get another replay. It's Suarez's masterpiece. But you stick around, people, and we'll have another look at it. And it is one of those goals that just maintains your belief in this game, when it can produce pure magic like that. This was no hit at goal. This was no blast. This was an absolute world-class finish of the highest order. It's measured down to pixel perfection, but he throws in the angles and the swerve to it as well, and a good game that was tighter than a Meg White snare drum for a lot of the match. And the sending off of Costa unfortunately tilted the table towards Barcelona, but there wasn't that much advantage to be played. And again, of course, Messi, as always, was like Mr. Spock out of his Vulcan mind.
Driving away with yet another Ford man of the match, Jan Oblak. A phenomenal performance for Messi and Suarez, just too much to beat. 33rd goal of the season for Messi, 20th for Luis Suarez. Barca champions in waiting again.